Last year we did a revenue of 2000 crores. We are one of the top 5 dairy companies in whole of North India. Hi, I'm Jai Agarwal. I am MD of CP Milk and Food Products Private Limited, manufacturing dairy products by the name of Gyan.
I am Anuj Agarwal. We are the third generation in the family business.
I'm Ritu Agarwal. I'm the managing director of gyandhara Industries. I'm the daughter-in-law of the Gyan family.
I would be studying at 5:30 in the lab, no electricity. Dad wanted me to apply for IAS. I wanted to do business.
He didn't want us to fail again. That's why he was very aggressively against us.
I want to do engineering. My dad said no. Their eventual thing was they wanted to get me married.
So a lot of people think in family businesses, most of the fights are about money.
Me and Jai have been working together for the last 23 years and we have massive fights in office.
You know, when we hired the consultant, the first question was who will be the face of the business? 2019 was that time we were actually going through a very bad commodity cycle. I used to come home, ask Jay, मेरी तो कोई गलती नहीं है that we are making losses.
In fact, last 3 years in Gyan Dairy were the most challenging.
I went for this meeting and when farmer came up, he said, मेरा बच्चा पढ़ पा रहा है, मैंने एक cattle से अब जाके 10 cattle हो गई है. So that was the time I decided, no, I'm in the right path and I want to continue doing what I'm doing.
Jai, Anuj, Ritu, thank you so much for doing this. So Jai, I want to start this with you. Take us back to Kaimganj, the village, the place where your family comes from, where your parents are still there. You were 8 years old. What did that compound smell like? What is the sound like? What did you hear growing up?
It's a small place. I mean, it's still a very small place. And in those days, it was, apart from being small, it was very, very constrained also. But it was very entertaining, very happy life because we were living in a big family and summer vacations were really cool because a lot of our cousins used to come in and buas, and so in a very small house there were so many people, so it was utter chaos all the time, but it was entertaining.
So Anuj, what was your first memory of understanding कि अच्छा मतलब फैमिली में कुछ बिजनेस करते हैं, या what are the business conversation that you heard, that you remember growing up?
All other kids in the family, they moved out in class 3rd, class 4th to boarding schools. But at that point of time, our parents decided to open a school. And fortunately or unfortunately, my mom, she was looking after that. So she said that if you will not study here, then everyone else will think that the school is not good in. So I had to stay back in Kaimganj. And my memories from Kaimganj would be, उस time बिजली नहीं आती थी, light नहीं होती थी. And I would be studying at 5:30 in the lamp and no electricity and things like that. But I enjoyed that phase also. And since I stayed back at home, I think a lot of conversations regarding business in families as it happens were dining table conversations and things like that. So I think the idea of getting exposed to business was there from the very early stages. I was good in studies. Dad wanted me to apply for IAS or things like that. But and I had a big fight with him also in class 11th. He wanted me to take sciences. I wanted to take commerce. I wanted to do business. And that is when I went to the boarding school. So I was kind of, I don't know, for some odd reason, I was always aligned to doing business. And I wanted to do that.
And Ritu, you were IT engineer.
Yes.
What is the last line of code that you wrote? And and did you ever think that you will get back to business when you're raising your boys?
So frankly speaking, engineering was just a choice because my parents, I belong to a very conservative family. So they were not ready to send me out anywhere for my college. In fact, my
So you grew up in Meerut?
Yes, I grew up in Meerut. I studied in Sophia. Then I did my 10th and 12th from Meerut Public, a public school there. And then I told my dad I want to do engineering. He said, no, we will not send you out. So you prepare yourself, buy the books, no coaching, nothing. If you can get, we will send you. Otherwise, normal graduation, he said BA, BSc, whatever you want to do. Because their eventual thing was they wanted to get me married. So that was the case. So I worked hard. I got selected in M&R. I was getting an admission in Lucknow, in fact. But he said, no, we will only make you study this subject, this course, if you get an admission in Meerut. So eventually there was a new school, a college which had just opened, MIET. So I got there, I did my engineering there. And I was in my third year when I got engaged. They just wanted to get me married. That is the thing. My only condition that time was that I wanted to finish my engineering because I was very hardworking. अगर कुछ मन में सोच लिया था तो करना था पूरा, midway नहीं छोड़ना था. That has been my philosophy in life.
Yeah, and your family was also into business?
Yes, my family is also into business. Same dairy business, in fact. Yeah.
Okay.
I stayed in Kayamganj, in fact, for 4 years, and then we shifted to Lucknow. It's been 23 years that we have been married. So, yes.
Jai, your grandfather actually started the tobacco business, like you said, and then your dad, carried on that legacy. And you also, worked a bit on that business. And then, like she was saying, after you got married, for the better lifestyle, you moved to Lucknow, and then that's how the whole, Gyan Dairy journey started. In 2003, the first time when you got into it, that didn't do well and you had to shut it down eventually. I want to get into the room where the conversation happened in 2007, when you went back to your father and said that I want to give this a shot one more time, and he was not ready to, make another investment. And your grandfather actually said that, "Jao karo." Was your dad on that room when your grandfather said, "Yes, go ahead and do it"?
So it was an interesting conversation actually when we went back after we had shut down the dairy operations and we were into tobacco business, back onto parents' business. After 4 years, we were cruising along, doing well, and the decision at that time could be taken. I mean, before that, there was a lot of struggle, internal struggle to grow that tobacco business, because tobacco business was also struggling at that time. But by 2007, it was pretty much stable. This particular unit, it was practically real estate for us. And nobody wanted to touch it because obviously one failure. But one fine day, we got an offer from someone who wanted to take it on lease. And they said, we will pay you this amount and you can give it to us on rent and we will run it. So at that time we thought कि अभी करने का मौका है, कुछ अगर यहाँ से निकलना है, then this is the easiest opportunity. Parents को convince करने का सबसे बढ़िया तरीका ये था कि ये इतने पैसे दे रहा है किराए के लिए, तो हम इतना तो earn कर ही सकते हैं. So this is what we tried to explain to our dad. But he was very protective of us. He didn't want us to fail again. And that's why he was, very, very aggressively against.
Very aggressively
Against us moving out.
Talk to us about that. Yeah.
But grandfather, he was entrepreneurial. He always was very excited about new opportunities, new things. But it was our mother who actually convinced our dad. She was rock solid. She said कि नहीं, बच्चों का मन है, अगर they want to take a shot at something, आपको उन्हें allow करना पड़ेगा. So she convinced our dad, and finally, there were a lot of ancillary discussions. We went to our grandfather, who will fund it and who will manage it, monitor it, and so many other things. So grandfather gave us a lot of confidence on that. Don't worry. Money is not a problem. You go there, you work. And then after 1 year of success, dad also got convinced that they are in the safe zone. Chalo, grow karo.
I remember when I just finished my college and I was just doing my first job. I come from Nepal and we come from like a very small village there. The biggest success that anybody in our family has ever seen is my uncle going to the US for his masters. And that became like a success metric for the kids to follow. And that was the dream that my dad had for me. कि नहीं तुम्हें जाना पड़ेगा इसमें. And then I sat for TOEFL. I was preparing for GRE, the test and all. And then I realized that when I was doing the job, I realized this is not something that I could do for the rest of my life. And I didn't want to do it. And then we had like a very bad fight. We ended up not talking for like a month or whatever. And when money started flowing is when he's like, chalo, theek hai. If a young person like you with that energy, 23, kuch karenge hum, they want to make their parents understand, what would you tell them today?
So I would tell them, let them do their own thing, let them fail.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing for me that I had already failed once. So, so that one chance was gone.
Yeah.
So he trusted me then, gave a lot of money and then invested and made the situation conducive for operations. Somehow did not work out. I don't know how many parents will be open to letting their kids fail once more.
It also comes from a place of fear. Because I think when dad was not allowing us to go outside, apart from the business failure, he was also worried that who will stay with him. So that feeling, while cannot be communicated, but was also there as a part of things. A lot of time, I think parents oppose the decisions not just because they are worried that they will succeed or fail, but they also feel worried that they will be left alone.
But looking at my own journey, I can say, yes, they should be allowed that one more chance. If our dad had shut the door on that particular opportunity, the story might have been very different.
Jai, Anuj, please feel free to correct me, if my general observation is when any women in the family, they want to start a business, usually it's seen as like, हाँ ठीक है इनको कुछ time pass करना है, hobby के लिए कुछ करना है, let's give like whatever business so that they are busy or whatsoever, right? From the role of women in family, and your mother is like, that force, like she's the one who was there with your dad in the tobacco business and then running the school and then politics as well and whatnot, right? You come from the woman who herself was so strong, but for the families in that crossroads of like, okay, we've never done this before. Women in our family have never done business. Now there is a daughter-in-law who says that mere ko karna hai. How would you, tell them to tackle that situation?
My opinion in this is that, of course, our mother, she has been doing business. She really supported dad when the business was not doing well. And I think a lot of our upbringing comes from that background. And it was both mutual. I mean, mom contributed and dad wanted her to contribute, so, even though we came from a rural place. So that is something that was there in the family genes. But to all the families that are at this junction where they want the daughter-in-laws or someone to come into business, I feel is that when a son comes to business, it's not even a question that whether they will do a serious business or not. And when a daughter-in-law comes, this is a question that arises whether they should do some serious business or not.
Correct.
I think first of all, in today's time, both of them are equally qualified in terms of education.
Correct.
And both of them are equally raw in the beginning. If we start judging them in the very beginning, it would not be the right thing. If the family can actually invest time and effort in building that capability, anyone coming to the family should be given an equal opportunity.
Yeah.
The only difference that I have is that every family has a unique culture. So generally when a son is there growing up in the family, they are aware about what the culture of the family is. When a daughter-in-law comes, it takes certain amount of time for her to understand what exactly the culture of the family is.
Correct.
So if you are able to give that time, it can be 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, whatever the time is. And if you're able to accept what are the non-negotiables in a family, what exactly the family value system is, doing business will become easier for her. And if the family is trying to get done something for her, then have the patience and the time and the effort that you're willing to invest in your own child to be investing the same time in the daughter-in-law.
I think that's very beautifully put. Okay, we have been having some serious family business conversation. It's time for a rapid fire. All right, so this is for Ritu and Jai. Who is more likely to forget an anniversary because of work?
Not me, but he will not forget, I know.
Okay. Who usually wins the argument at home
And office.
and office? Who's better at convincing the other person?
I think I am good.
I think they don't have to look at each other and answer the question. So the answers might be different. What they feel about. Yeah.
So this is Jai and Anuj. So Anuj, what's one thing about Jai that drives you crazy?
I can answer it very clearly.
Yeah.
What drives me crazy is Jay is obsessed with quality. and for that he's willing to compromise on anything. So whenever he's designing a product, I am worried in my heart that it will not fit into the cost that it is supposed to fit in. That is what drives me crazy.
Yeah. And who ultimately wins that? And that was also one of the things that I wanted to ask, because he's never going to look at finance.
Yeah.
And you are going to like, bro, we can't afford this.
Yeah.
Then who ultimately wins it?
I think it's never one person or the other. It has to be, sometimes you have to relent, sometimes you can win. It's generally a tie. If I lose sometimes, I park it in that my diary. Like next time,
I need to win it next time. Same question to you. What is the thing about him?
I think the one habit that drives me crazy is I think he's too bottom line oriented. This is the classic thing that we keep fighting on.
Who spends the most money?
Anuj Bhaiya, yes.
this I don't agree. I still feel Jay spends the most money. If he has to book a holiday,
Oh, yes. I wasn't thinking about holiday though.
ठीक है?
And
And
ठीक है, I spend.
it's like a ticket. आगे नहीं जाते.
आगे नहीं जाते.
I agree. So who's most likely to turn a family dinner into a business meeting?
Anuj Bhaiya. Acha, both of us. Okay.
All right. Super, guys. Thank you so much for being being sport for this round. And you both have 22-year-old. How is that looking for you guys?
अभी तो rock solid चल रहा है अभी तो.
अच्छा. So they want to join the business?
as long as he does not have a different opinion. अभी वो उस बेचारे का opinion different नहीं है.
अच्छा.
He's joined me as a management trainee as of now.
All right.
He wants to work with me. I'm keeping my fingers crossed now because I don't want that mother-son relationship to suffer because of that, you know. And I would say, like, you know, there is a lot of expectation for sure, but I want him to learn on the journey. So right now, as a management trainee, he's just trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting that you said that I don't want that mother-son relation, doesn't change. But I've heard from family businesses that once you start, once you go into business together, the relationship dynamic never remains the same. So I want to hear from all of you on how your relationship dynamic changed when you went into business together.
I think it definitely does change. I will not say that it remains the same because as you said that in business, the performance matrix is something that matters. Whereas in families, it's more of a socialist model and it's more of a capitalist model in business.
Correct. And they can't coexist.
And they can't coexist. It's important to learn what hat to wear when. So for example, me and Jay, we work together and we've been working together for the last 23 years. And we have massive fights in office, massive disagreements on almost everything. But the fact is that once you come out of that room, once you sit in the car, once you come back home, then it's a relationship that you need to nurture as a family. And that is sometimes not easy. It gets carried back to the home also. But over a period of time as a family, I think we have started learning about that. And if we are able to do that, if we are able to continue with that, I think that is what the magic works in. But yes, definitely when we go back in office, we are equals.
How has it changed? Like, younger brother, like, of course, like the elder brothers have, not generalizing, but elder brothers usually, अब तो छोटा है ना मेरा भाई है, like he said हम बराबर हैं अभी, so I want to hear from your perspective, your experience of, working with your brother.
So I think right from the day one, when we started out in tobacco only, when he was in college, I was just married, and there was a lot of struggle in terms of growing the tobacco business. And so even at that time, there was a lot of good coordination, and everyone was contributing equally. So there, I think it was, it is both ways, I would say. Ki, I actually used to listen to him and he used to respect me as his elder brother. So that relationship did not change. We considered each other as equals. We consulted each other on everything. and without having that consensus between us, we never took a step forward. Never pinned the blame on each other. So मुझे लगता है कि the relationship has remained as is for the last 20-25 years that we have been working for.
Did you get into fist fight with each other? Let's talk about that.
We don't want to risk it. As of now, it has not happened. But
No, growing
You
up.
shot me with an air gun for once.
Oh, you shot him.
yeah. So, I mean, when we were staying in Kayamganj, we used to, there were a lot of air guns and the family, everyone enjoyed shooting and things like that. Not each other, but just shooting.
Yeah.
So, one day we had a disagreement. I told him, you look that side, he looked that side, I shot him.
But never like fought like as brothers?
He was bigger, he's 4 years elder. And see, actually what happens is that we stayed together very little. Because he was in a boarding school, I was staying in Kayamganj. And then in summers when he would come, so initial that love is there. By the time you realize you want to fight, he's gone again. So we never had that kind of fight.
For me, when I got into business, definitely things changed. You know, from a regular house discussion around kids and everything, it was more focused on business. And somehow I was like too excited about things I wanted to discuss because both of them had each other in office to discuss things. So when both of them used to come back, I had a list of questions which I wanted to discuss or crib about something or discuss. So, you know, the kind of relationship changed. मुझे लगता था कि इन लोग को लगता है ये कब चुप होंगी. But having said that, I think we have navigated it very beautifully because disagreement can be there when it comes to business decisions. But as a family, there's no disrespect. So this is one rule that we follow. And also as a family, 4 of us, when we decide on something, we go ahead with it. And then wo sahi hoga, galat hoga. We are in it together.
Yeah. You know, I hear you. And, you know, my wife recently said that, hey, you know what, I want you to hold me accountable with my business. Can we do like a weekly business review where you review my business every week? I said, sure, I can do that for you. And
That was a bad choice.
We sit in the dining table and I said that, okay, I'm taking off my husband hat and I'm purely like your accountability partner hat right now. And on the days when I become a little too harsh, that bleeds into my husband role as well. So I want to hear from you, like, you know, does that disagreement fight when he's being little too harsh, or you are, you know, being a little harsh to him, does that go to the bedroom where you're fighting, whatever? I want to hear from you, like, is that even possible?
I don't think they will tell the truth. I can tell you the truth.
Yes, go ahead.
It definitely works that way. Matlab, like, you just cannot have that. And when I see them from outside, there are like times when he'll come back home and he will again have a business meeting, a full business review, like after finishing the office.
Correct.
So I think, and you can figure out whether that business review went which way. I don't know. This is my observation, but they can answer more in detail about that.
No, that tells a lot.
Because they'll think I'm biased and Jai can answer it more honestly. I think I have come a long way. Initially, it was like that. Now I have learnt with time how to put both the things, like, you know, apart. कभी-कभी क्या होता था कि if we take things, ऐसा नहीं है नहीं किया है. We used to take those discussions to the bedroom. I used to get angry.
Yeah.
He was also not happy the way I was taking the suggestion or things. But then I realized what matters to me more, whether it is family or business. I said eventually I'm doing it for family. तो उसको अगले दिन के लिए पार्क कर दिया जाता है. Not that we, you know, make peace with it.
Yeah.
We are like, okay, let's discuss it tomorrow with fresh mind. So this is what we have started doing.
थोड़ा काम AI ने भी आराम कर दिया थोड़ा सा. So she can
Beach
ask
consultant.
so she can ask Claude and you know, have a discussion with AI instead of having it with me.
Yeah, no, that helps. That does help.
And Claude never disagrees. So, but I think one thing that definitely changed was that, Ritu Bhabhi and Jyotsna, they started doing business in 2018.
Yeah.
So before that, they were observers in the discussion.
Correct.
So me and Jai, we would be discussing on the table. They would be there as observers. And then they became stakeholders in a business. So what happens is that suddenly that positioning changes in the family. And for that position to change, your position in the family also changes from a housewife or this thing to a business person. And that differentiation of when is the limit of having that conversation, whether it should happen in office, whether it should happen back at home, that takes a little bit of time in getting settled. Once that differentiation is not there, it becomes difficult because you're all the time stressed about it, that the discussion might happen right now. So it took us some time in the beginning. I would not say that it was absolutely easy to start with, but now all of us have learned how to park the issues and then actually to take it up. We have a family council structure and a business council.
Okay.
So on business council, the decisions are largely business, and whatever the decisions the family are, for example, decisions like how the fund should be allocated, how what should be the family structure, marriages, functions, kids, education. These are the issues that come in family council. But when it comes to business council, the person who's looking after the business, we can act as advisors, but not as people who would be interfering in the day-to-day operations. But this structure took some time to build. This structure took some time to get into place. It is still work in progress. That is what I feel. But
It's still work in progress. I think it will always be work in progress because it's not a formal document or anything. It is just about that respect for each other that drives that whole thing and keeping the structure in place.
So Ritu runs her own business, or she, leads one business. So does she get to decide what salary she wants to draw, or that has to go through family council?
So ideally that has to go through the family council.
For all the businesses, everybody, then what are going to be my perks?
Yeah.
Do you guys also decide which car I'm going to drive? That also need to go through family council and all of that?
Yes.
Everything.
Everything. So that has to go through the family council, but family council meeting का number ही नहीं आता है. Because we are, practically twice a week we are having dinner together and a lot of conversations. So practically most of the things are sorted. I think that works. That is absolutely essential for people who might not be meeting very often or not conversing very often.
As families, when you start growing, there is a lot of conversation about everyone wants freedom. Everyone wants to know what their rights are. And everyone wants to know what is that they can decide and what is it that they are allowed to. And a lot of times in families, because of relationships and everything, these conversations are not very vocal. If you can get a forum for that and a structured forum, for example, a car, or for example, what should be the salary, or for example, who will pay for the kids' education kind of thing. So these are things that are a lot of times unsaid in families. So one idea was also that going forward, if we can build a structure that can, it takes time. I'm not saying that, one fine day you make a policy and it is internalized. I don't think that works.
Of course.
You obviously learn on the way. You also have a set of challenges. Sometimes you disagree. You learn how to navigate them. But that is what was also one of the reasons why we decided to start the family council.
Ritu, like you were saying that, you and, Anuj's wife, you both said that we should also have the stake, or we should also have the say in the decisions that, you were making. So how both of you ensured that, this is also something that we should be looking at, and because you were running the business and you thought that हम business चलाते तो decision हमारा ही होगा. How did that occur to you कि ये भी करना चाहिए, and we should also involve them and have their say in the decision making?
That way, we have been, I think our family has been very progressive in terms of women having a voice. And now, since we were collectively having these discussions, then we understood that, yes, this is the need, and this needs to be understood and needs to be talked about as well. We need to find a way and a structure how to do it. So I think there was no disagreement, or we didn't even take too many discussions to actually acknowledge this particular thing. And even before that, all the major discussions, major decisions, I think ladies did have a voice. It was just that the information flow, which is very, very critical to families, was not structured. Something that is happening in my account, like I give out some amount of money to the company, loan out some amount to the company. And we collectively took a decision, okay, we will put our money into that. And I did not inform her. Now, at some point of time, she would want ki, theek hai, this is the kind of expenditure, or maybe बेटे की school की fees जानी है, कुछ भी है. So now, when we see in the account, then ki, oh my God, we have less money left in our account. What happened? I said, okay, I lent it out to the company. So there's no problem lending it out to the company. But she felt ki
This is our money. It's like
Part of decision making.
it is a part of
decision-making,
being a
yeah.
part of the decision making or being informed. Just that. And so this is just one example. I mean, there are small little things on a daily basis that are happening. You buy a property and you make a decision of buying a property and you inform home only when you
When it's
think
done.
"Please, बात हो चुकी है." So many things that are taken for granted. But once you want to put a structure to it, then you actually realize that yes, I mean, there is a lot of decisions that everyone has to be onboarded.
And it works the other way around also. So what happens is that when Ritu Abi and Jyotsna, they started looking after the business, so they wanted to be part of decision making. But the other way around is also true. When they had to take the decisions, they would get really angry. Like for example, initially I used to look after purchase in Gyandhara. So I would say ki, theek hai, now you have to take the decisions. Now you have to start purchasing. So she would throw tantrums. She's like, मैं कैसे कर सकती हूँ, ये कैसे कर सकता है, वो कैसे. You are not helping in this. I like, अच्छा, okay, we will discuss it about it tomorrow. Gradually, that shift also happened because asking accountability and taking accountability, both the things have to be taken up simultaneously.
Yeah.
And it's a learning curve on both ends. So I think that is what, when I said it takes time, so it took us 2-3 years for us to realize what the other person is feeling and what the other person is going through. Now if I tell like, I want to purchase, like, no, I will manage. You don't come into this thing.
Yeah.
So it's like that.
When Jai discussed this idea of cattle feed, as I said earlier, this was a genuine problem. But having said that, we had absolutely no clue.
Correct.
So we said in 2017, Jyotsna and I together, we said we will purchase cattle feed and we will sell it to Gyan Dairy because we want to learn the entire thing, how it works. And that was the time he connected us with an NDDB consultant. So my only reason was I want to learn and then put my energies into it. Without knowing, I was not ready to take up that challenge. When I understood, when that consultant, he's my mentor actually, he explained me how it is benefiting the farmer and everything. So then I was totally sold to the idea. I said, okay, let me try it. And it has not been an easy journey. Bhaiya said, you know, he was doing the most of the purchase initially because purchasing was the most critical thing in cattle feed. So he was trying to train me as well because husband se seekhna aasan nahi hota hai. So this responsibility came on to him.
Yeah.
And he has been
agree.
very patient. He has been very patient and he's a good mentor, I would say. So Bhaiya...
How is husband always a bad mentor?
That you can ask my wife.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Your wife would tell that he is a good mentor.
If I tell her anything, she will never agree to that thing. If anyone else says, especially Jai says ki haan ye kar leta, he's saying right.
So then he taught me how to like buy and purchase and how to negotiate. All these things I learned, and the last bit of it when he actually wanted to hand it over to me and I was not ready. And he said, just take it up. ये तो आप हमेशा ना करते रहोगे वरना. So you know, he eventually
There's
gave
no
that-
perfect time. There's no right time.
Yes. But 2019 was the time when actually I had a choice because we were actually going to a very bad commodity cycle. I used to come home, ask Jai if I'm doing the right thing, if this is the right thing for me. So, you know, there have been moments where I questioned myself. I thought if this is enough, meri ki to koi galti nahi hai that we are making losses. He said, just keep doing it. Keep learning, keep doing it. And during one farmer meeting, I went for a meeting. I was very upset. Kuch profits nahi ho rahe hain, pata nahi kuch samajh nahi aa raha hai. I went for this meeting and then farmer came up. He said कि मैम मेरा बच्चा पढ़ पा रहा है. मैंने एक cattle से अब जाके 10 मेरी cattle हो गई है. So, you know, I could see that good quality was actually genuinely making an impact on the ground. And in turn, from Gyan Dairy, I was getting a feedback how their quality of milk was improving. So that was the time I decided, no, I'm in the right path and I want to continue doing what I'm doing. It took a lot of courage to keep doing the right thing. But yes, here we are. Like, the journey from 14 crores to 425 has been very rewarding.
Yeah.
And it's a constant journey of learning for me.
Yeah. Gyan Dairy did upwards of 1700 CR the last financial year, and Gyandhara did 400 odd crores. Yeah, in the business revenue. So when you all sit on the table, do you feel that difference? In terms of like decision making or the up in the conversations?
I think, I don't think that any two businesses, all the businesses will have their different life cycles. So we have 4 businesses. One is a dairy, one is tobacco business, one is Gyandhara, and the last one is a school that Jyotsna looks after. So I think all of them are at different trajectories. Some are in phase where they don't need capex, some are in phases where they need capex, some are in rapid scale up. So I think it's important to look at every business independently, and the needs of every business will also be different, and the challenges will also be different.
Yeah.
In fact, if you ask us, then last 3 years in Gyan Dairy, as compared to other businesses, were the most challenging. So and it will happen to other businesses also at some point of time. It's just a part of life cycle. So I think when we sit on that table, all of us present in family council present about our own businesses that we are looking after.
Yeah.
And we seek an honest, unbiased, non-judgmental kind of advice, if that is possible, for us to help us evolve in that thing. So I don't think there's any comparison per se.
A quick pause before we continue. If you're enjoying this conversation, I have got something that you might enjoy as well. Personal Finance Club is our WhatsApp community where we share tons of insights on personal finance. The link is in the description. Now, back to the conversation. So a lot of people think that in family businesses, most of the fights are about money. In reality, the fights actually are about recognition, somebody wanting to build their own leave their personal legacy, or the identity. So what are the things that motivate each of you?
So I think out of 4 of us, my identity and Ritu Bhabhi's identity matches. We are the money people.
Okay, we want money.
So we are money in the sense we have always been managing. We've been influenced. Our moods are influenced by that thing. Jai and Jyotsna, I think they are more. They're more vision, more. Not really that moved by money.
Legacy, impact.
Quality, patience. So I think if you generalize these profiles, money people are like impatient. They want things to be done in a hurry. Speed over sometimes. If you want to build something, you have to have speed. Quality is important, but speed is equally important kind of conversations. So I think these are the profiles that we fit in.
No, I think I agree to that. Well, I'm not driven by numbers. I'm driven more by impact. So,
and I think that tells why this partnership is going on for 20 odd years, because that's, I heard this thing about, family businesses. It's not about, anything else, but it's about money and identity. Even in like a father-son doing a business together, if both of them are driven by identity, which means both of them want to make an impact, both of them want to be the one who's like, I did this, or, the identity is so strongly attached to the business. And in the other sense, like both of them are the money people who are like, we both are so driven by money, then there will always be like a different ways that you would think, right? But the good combo, even in that dynamic or in this dynamic, which I can see that you're like, boss, I'm money person. आप देखो vision, legacy, impact, वो आप सोचो पैसा में, and in your case, भैया पैसा आप देखो, I am like more about impact, and I think that's like a very good combo to have. What are the other things that you have seen, in your circles, family businesses? What are the things that really, becomes like the starting point of the conflict?
I think mostly what I have seen in my friends group, it's visibility.
Okay.
Mostly it is about recognition amongst family members, which is creating trouble. When we hired the consultant, the first question was, who will be the face of the business? Amongst the 2 brothers, they were asking. And we had never thought about it. Because both of them, as you rightly said, they are like lock and key, touch wood. Because they have their own set of positives and they have their own presence, their own I would say expertise. So, this wasn't a question here, but yes, I have seen in a lot of family, it is not money that drives people. It is usually the recognition.
Now, talking about impact, Jai, your family, if you look at like the way you have, expanded your business, it started with tobacco, to you got into milk, and then now gyandhara, it's health of cattle, and then education, of course, right? So one, how do you say it? Two, what happens to the tobacco business when your dad doesn't want to run it?
So the thing is that transition, I mean, it was, I would say, there are certain conditions that get built for an idea to actually materialize. And that happened when we wanted to start the dairy business. Someone from outside actually asked for it. And we realized ki nahi, wake up call, we need to just give it a shot. And cattle feed was also, I mean, we were like buying from a third party, giving to our farmers, and there was a lot of demand for cattle feed, and we realized that this can also be an industry. And we immediately got onto the job. Education is one part that our family has been deeply invested in for many years now. Because Kayamganj was a very small town. Our parents actually had to send out our sister at the age of 4 to study outside, me at the age of 7. So they wanted an English medium school to be opened there, and over a period of time it became really big.
She's telling me that there are 8,000 odd students now.
Yeah.
So
That's quite
there are now 4 or 5 schools, and there are 8,000-9,000 students studying there. So I mean, it's a big part of the family now. So
and that's purely a social cause.
yeah, those schools are purely social cause. Now we have started out in Lucknow with the socio-economic kind of cause. But education is something that drives our family, and we are deeply invested into it. So it was not a very difficult decision to make.
Yeah.
And about the tobacco business, I think it will keep going on till the government allows it.
And what happens if your kids don't, come to you and say, we don't want to run Gyan Dairy?
We'll get a CEO. I mean, if you don't want to run it. So, in fact, the problem of identity, all 4 of us have been lucky with that sense. The challenge will be for the next generation to actually create their own identity. Because we started a business that was from zero. So, our identity got built with it. But when they will come, they will inherit this thing and to be able to build that identity. I think it's, and a lot of family businesses go through this trouble, because if the business is very well established, the employees and everything want to go back to the people who started the business and not really. So I think as family, we have to be cognizant, and we have to make sure that environment is there for that thing. So, but yeah.
Have you all thought about the fund, if any of the kids, come to you and say that, like Jai did in 2003, say that give me money, I want to start my own thing and give it a shot. Have you had those kind of conversations, and how do you really think about allocating, funds for those kind of things where kids might just come and say that kuch karna hai hame?
So there's a slight difference in what we decide that the kids should do, and we allocate funds to that, versus what kids want and they ask us money for that thing. So I think that is a conversation while we have had, and we thought that we will appoint a mentor to them, and they have to present that business case to the board.
Okay.
And if it makes economic sense. But I know this is going to be a difficult choice when it comes to that, because they will have their own ideas about business. And these days, kids can come up with very random ideas that see, we are doing some conventional businesses. I mean, a hard physical product kind of a business. And if someone comes with a very idea which is very futuristic, which is something that we don't understand, I don't know how we will react. But we are still open to that idea. And having that freedom to fail is something, but it has to be within some guardrails.
Yeah. Somebody comes with AI, you say, come to us with an idea how we can use AI in dairy.
I mean, it has to have some economic, any business idea needs to have some sensibility or economic sense. which probably we might not see, but someone else at least can see. So if that is good enough, we would love to invest.
I'll give you some scenarios, and you'll have to react to these scenarios and how how would you take this. So tomorrow, all three of you have to start a brand new business together, but it can't be in dairy. What business would you build, and who would take charge of what?
Should I answer?
Yes.
Potato processing.
Potato processing.
Yeah.
He's thinking about this one, so he had the answer.
For a long
ready.
time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chips.
Potato flakes, chips, French fries, and everything.
Yeah.
So the reason is that we feel that agri products as a sector is something that we have learned some capabilities about. So that is what I would do. And in terms of doing what I will do in that, I would definitely don't want to do the execution part of it. So that is something I know. So probably a kid or a CEO is someone I would appoint first and then probably do that.
Yeah.
For me, I think beyond dairy, probably real estate would be a good choice.
Yeah.
And if I have to take up a role in that, I think I will take up construction. Site manager.
And if I were to start something, I think I'm very keen on starting a training school. Like I want to train students after 12th or after diploma and get them into get them employment. So this is something which I've been thinking about. So maybe if given a choice, I would like to do that.
Yeah.
Nothing very big as of now, but yes.
And what would you do in that?
What would I do in that? I will create the systems and structures.
She will not do execution.
So tomorrow, if somebody comes and offers to buy Gyan for a price that's impossible to ignore, what would be the first question you would ask before saying yes, no?
I'll simply ask them, what will you do with the business? I want to understand why do you want to buy it.
Yeah.
Is something I would want. I would be inquisitive about that. But I know that as a family or as something that you've built so passionately, I don't think that anyone can have the same passion for the business as we have had. So in all probability, we will not be able to sell anything. But at least I would be inquisitive and asking why Gyan.
Third and final scenario, if you were to swap a role with one of the other person sitting on this couch right now, whose role would you swap for a day? And what are the changes that you would make in that role?
I would love to do finance someday. Because,
So he does finance and all.
because
So you would swap role with him.
Hasn't been my forte.
Yeah.
For that reason,
Yeah.
I want to, because over a period of time, I think I have become much wiser in terms of understanding finance.
And first thing that you would change in that role?
No, I haven't become wise enough actually to tell you what will I change.
So for me, I think one of the things that I would like to look after, probably if I would want to swap, is the production part, the operations. And one change that I would like to bring is I'm very passionate about Kaizen as a concept.
Yeah.
So I would want the organization to adopt Kaizen across, and that culture of Kaizen adopted to every employee at the ground level. With that Kaizen competitions and winning that on the national level, international level kind of thing.
How about you?
See, in my business, I'm taking care of most of the things. But if I were given a chance, then definitely I would like to step in Bhaiya's shoes and first try to understand what all he's doing. And maybe slow down a little bit, absorb more, and then, try to tweak it a little somewhere. I'm not talking about Jai, we have to live together.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for being part of this. And before we let you go, if anybody from family business who's working with brother, who's working with, wife, who's working with in-laws, if there is, any advice that you want to pass on to family businesses.
So I think while being in a family business and running business, I mean, in the family ecosystem, I think one needs to be very patient.
Yeah.
And one has to be giving in nature. And the other thing is that family emotions and business emotions have to be tackled differently.
Yeah.
They should not, interfere with each other, those emotions. So these are some of the things that I have learned over a period of time, because sometimes in family businesses, those business biases we are not able to let go, and that becomes personal disputes. And I think our family has navigated these things beautifully.
Yeah.
Because nothing is personal. I mean, no business matter is personal matter. It's completely different, completely separate.
I completely agree to Jay, and I also feel that family emotions and business emotions are two different set of feelings. I always say family should be socialist and businesses should be capitalist in nature. One more thing that I personally feel that for long success of families, and this is not something that I'm drawing from the Western concepts, but I think in the family you have to accept at least one person you have to accept that, okay, fine, if there is a deadlock in a situation, then whatever the other person says, I will agree to. So for example, in my case, it is like if we have a deadlock and we have a serious deadlock.
Yeah.
So I'll leave it to Jay, ki, "Theek hai, fine, whatever you will say, I will agree to that." Having that trust in a family, on any member, on it can be any advisor, any member, every person needs to pre-decide what that person is. Because when it comes to deadlock, then you keep looking for a person who till the time you won't find the right answer, you keep looking for answers. So if you can have that trust in the family, that also is a very important thing.
Very, very important point.
So I think I agree to both of them. We have been, ऐसा नहीं है कि we didn't struggle with that. We navigated and we reached a point wherein everybody understood how business has to be separate and family emotion has to be separate. And we, I think, have made, a beautiful solution to that. And now all of us, as Bhaiya said, we listen to Jai whenever we are in a deadlock situation. But having said that, out of my own experience, I realized when a daughter-in-law comes to a business wherein, both of them were doing so well. When I entered, I had a lot of pressure. Nobody had pressurized me. It was self thing that I had done to myself, that I need to prove myself.
Correct.
And I feel a lot of females have this thought, कि मुझे prove करना है कुछ. And I think if we let go of that, and we just believe in what we are doing, learn the subject well, and just deliver. Correct. So, taking that accountability and delivering is what we need to do, not taking that excessive pressure on us. This is what I have learned in my journey.
Thank you so much for being so open and, doing this with us and allowing us to, shoot this at your house. Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure.
Bijay.
Thank
It was a
you.
pleasure.
It's been a pleasure, Bijay.